If you are a balloon artist, whether you are brand new or if you've been doing this for a while and you are trying to get more business or figure out how to get more business, like you're getting really good, your work is starting to like get better, you're feeling proud of what you're putting out there, but you are still not getting the business that you feel like you should be getting, or you're not reaching the clientele that you know that you have the potential to be taken care of, this video is for you. Because I have been getting asked quite a bit lately, how do I get clients? How did you get started? What do I do? What actually works? And so that is what I want to talk about today. I am going to tell you some things that can be applied to everybody. And I'm also going to tell you some things that like work specifically for me in real life, because we might not all have the same market, which I mean, I know for a fact that we don't. But we also might not have the same style and the same target client. So I kind of want to hit both of those levels of like apply to everybody and then also what works for me. Okay, so let's talk about getting business. First of all, my first tip is for you is to show up where your clients already are, both in real life and online. I think that this is the biggest concept. You do not need to be everywhere. You just need to be visible where your clients or your target clients already are. So in real life, that means venues, places that people are booking events, or spaces where people hold events like coffee shops or rec centers. Like think about where you can book a party. Go to those venues. I also like wedding venues, like those ones are more obvious. Go to those venues and make connections with the owners. Show up to local networking events that are targeted at your target client. Local groups, chamber of commerce, anything where people are planning parties or spending money where those people are already hanging out. And on that note, I'm going to tell you something here that was a huge lesson for me. Cold calling does not hit the same as bringing balloons. I did this. I tried walking into like local small businesses with flyers and business cards and like making connections and talking to the owners and the shopkeepers and all that. And they, it felt really good. And they were like, yeah, I have a spot right here. That'd be so cool. Or I have this like thing coming up that I have an idea for. And they took my flyer. And you want to know how many jobs that I got out of that? Literally zero. It was crickets. It was honestly a waste of a day. But when I started actually bringing balloons with me into the space, that hit completely different. So again, think where people are wanting to have events in their space, or where people gather for events, whether it's casual parties or full-on events, venues, boutiques, coffee shops, place where people are going to be spending money, because balloons are so visual. And when they're right in front of somebody's face, they instantly understand the value and how impactful they are. They get it and they stop and stare and they're like, oh, like they get it. And that makes such a bigger impact than walking in with a card or a flyer and saying like, I can do balloons for you. Instead, showing them, hey, I've done balloons, here are some of them, and offer to leave them with something. And this can be leftover from a previous job, or you can make something specifically for this purpose. I'm not suggesting that you constantly do that and go make free stuff just to drop it off at a bunch of places. But if you do have things that are left over from a previous job, like that is the ideal way to do this. And I'll say the best kind of piece to do this with is something like a column or a bouquet, things that do not require hanging or attaching things to walls or installing anything or any equipment. Because the second that you're like, can I hang this, or can I put this over here? People are going to be like, let me ask my manager. I got to get permission from him. I'm not sure. And like all of that. And it's much easier to just say like, hey, I have this left. I wanted to drop it off and share this with you. It still has a lot of life in it, and I don't want to pop it yet because that's what I'm going to be doing otherwise. Would it be okay if I leave this here through like the rest of the season or for the week, or like whatever makes sense for what it is? And then you can literally just sit it right there on the floor, or, maybe I can just put it over in that cozy corner. Wouldn't it look so good over there? And then most people are going to be like, sure, that's great. Like, thank you so much. Like, why not? And that one little yes is more likely to repay you 10 times over than compared walking in empty-handed or with a flyer and saying, hey, I do balloons. Because people will remember you. You've made a connection, and you also, you probably have to go back and get the stand, so you might actually have another connection point to make. And that is more likely to build you a connection that sticks. Digitally, and this worked for me a lot early on, was neighborhood groups and Facebook groups. I used this big time, and it was probably one of my biggest things. I joined multiple groups. I live in a suburb outside of a bigger city, so I joined my suburb groups, and then all of the other suburb groups too that are like around that city. So mom groups, neighborhood groups, new resident groups, small business networking groups, like in the know groups, literally all of them. Now, I did not like spam them. Like I shared my work when it made sense, because a lot of these groups have rules and you have to read them. Some of them don't allow business posts at all. Some of them are only on certain days, once a month, only on Fridays, only if it's in a response to a question that somebody asked for, asking for recommendations. Like they all have their own rules. So you do have to look at those so you don't get like banned. But I literally made myself a schedule of like when I could post to what group when, and I just kind of worked it into my routine. And so when it makes sense, if I have a new offering or something like that, I just share it to those local groups. And I still do that from time to time. And every time I get business from it, because I think that people are more likely to book when it's somebody or that they recognize. Even if they don't book with you like right away from that post, they're more likely to clock that post and then remember it. And maybe even if they don't call you today, maybe like 6 months from now when their sister gets pregnant and now they have to plan a baby shower, and they'll be like, I have to get balloons. And be like, wait, I saw that balloon girl in that Facebook group that one time. And they're more likely to search you up, or maybe they even saved it and they'll find you later. But I think that is as likely to get you business as someone doing like a cold Google search of like balloon decor or balloon arches near me or whatever. Both of those do matter, but I'll say Facebook and word of mouth have been huge for me specifically. Even to this day, I still get business from Facebook, and I have not run ads on Facebook. It's just been from the groups or put really any money into marketing. Like this has been enough. So that has been really big for me. All right, and then here's something that kind of connects directly to that. Use your home as a portfolio so that when you do show up, you have proof of what you do. Because whether you're showing up in a Facebook group or in real life, you can't just like, you can just tag your business group or your business page and say like, hey, I do balloons, give me a call. But what's going to work much better is real photos of real installs in real spaces and proof. Like social proof matters. And I know a lot of people are already doing this. That's what you're practicing at home. But what I'm saying is like, use your home as a portfolio in a strategic way so that you don't burn yourself out, because you don't constantly want to be making balloons and then popping them and being like, who am I even doing this for? So do it for things that already make sense in your life. So for me, that like my kids' birthdays, my husband's birthday, like anything that I'm already sort of like having an event for, then it makes sense. And I'm honestly, one of my favorite setups still to this day that I've ever done was something kind of small and simple that I did for my husband's birthday. And I never used to do like a full balloon thing for my husband's birthday until I started doing this. But now it's an opportunity to do something fun and new and challenging, or that I wanted to try or whatever. And then you get pictures and you build a portfolio that helps people trust you. And even if you're thinking like, okay, but I don't have like some beautiful event space in my home, that is okay. If you can get a clean picture, regardless of what's in the background, like with good lighting, that's probably more important than anything. You can use tools like Canva and AI to remove the background and put it on like a cleaner like space. And that is good enough for a portfolio. And let me be really clear about this. I am not suggesting that you just like do free work for anybody in your family or like close friends or that as a strategy, because I know that that can get messy really fast. I'm saying free work. When I say free work for my family, I mean my husband and my kids. Like, the end, period. Except I did do a graduation thing for my nephew, and I'll also do it again for my niece when she graduates this year. But that's because I am not worried about my sister taking advantage of me. So that's what I'm saying. Use your judgment, because maybe your sister is somebody who's going to take advantage of you, and there are other family members that I'm not going to do it for. So use your judgment. That's what it's all about, is like who's not going to take advantage of you. And make those balloons and take the pictures, because photos matter. Your house counts as a venue and a place to take pictures to take for your portfolio. Okay. Next, do not rely on people to find you or remember you. This is where I think a lot of people are losing business without probably even realizing it. Set up your Google business profile so that when they do search balloon arches near me on Google, you show up. Even if you've told them your name before, they're not likely to remember your actual business name when they're starting to like look for balloons. Like, don't rely on them to remember that. And even though Facebook is great for what I already said, people are still doing Google searches, so this matters. So the Google business account's helpful. Also, on this note, collect email addresses. Even if you're not ready to do an email newsletter now, I know that can feel like daunting and intimidating if you're not doing it, but still start collecting email addresses. If you work with somebody for anything, get their email address. Even if you've just been communicating through DMs or whatever, you can say like, hey, can you send me your email address so I can send you the invoice? Like, people will accept that, and they'll send you their email address, and then save it somewhere, even if you're not going to use it right now, because someday you will be ready. I'm manifesting it for you. You will be ready to add email marketing into what you do, and then you'll already have a list to start with. And that is going to help people remember you. Like, don't rely on the idea that just because they hired you last year or they saw you somewhere that they're going to remember like 3 years from now for their next event, like what your name was. They're probably not going to remember the name. The email list is how you keep reminding them that you exist, who you are, and what you do. And on that note, reach out to your previous clients. If you've had clients, don't assume that they're going to contact you again for whatever their next thing is. Don't rely on them to prioritize your business by booking you again. Like, maybe they booked you one time, but it doesn't mean that they're going to remember to book you again. And they're maybe going to do another Balloon Arches Near Me search and book somebody else. So don't rely on that. Like, keep yourself in the front of their mind. Reach out to them early the next time, especially if it's something that's going to be recurring. It can be a really quick thing, like, hey, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say hi. If you have anything coming up this year, I'd love to work with you again. And that is going to keep you in the forefront of their mind. Or if you do know what kind of events they're throwing, you can mention that specifically. Like, if you're doing your, annual whatever party, like, I'd love to help you with that again, whatever. In this same category, make it easy for them to find you and make it easy for them to share you and for you to share yourself. So what I mean by that, what I'm getting at, is business cards. I really do think that they still matter. I know that there's a lot of people out there that I say that they're like dead, but I cannot tell you how many times I have been asked for a business card, like on site or at a random local event, or just talking to somebody in casual conversation. Like, it literally happened to me yesterday. I was at a meeting for something that had nothing to do with balloons, and I was asked for my business card. And it just gives you something tangible to hand to somebody else. And there's a sense of professionalism with that still, I think, goes a very long way. And along with that, QR codes on everything. Like, it doesn't like, I do put it physically on my business cards, but I also put it on my balloons, near my balloons, on little sides. I have a QR code on my phone so that even if you don't have that physical card, you at least still have, you can pull it up and like for somebody to scan. Because the goal is to make it stupid easy for people to find you and to remember you. It is nobody else's priority to remember your business name and get you business. And if it isn't easy for them, if it's hard for them to find you, they're going to give up and just go with whatever they do find. Okay, next, tell people that you already know, even if it feels weird. Do not underestimate the people that you already know in real life. Like, if you already work somewhere or in your social circle, your neighborhood, wherever, like people that know you, you don't have to shout it from the rooftops, but you should, you can be selective about it, but you should tell people. I got multiple jobs from coworkers just knowing that I do this. And then they refer you to their friends because they know you, like that trust is already there. But they can't refer you or hire you if they don't know that what you do. I mean, like, imagine if, somebody that you work with and are friendly with, like, is like, hey, look at these pictures from my kid's graduation party, and they show you some balloons, and you're like, I could have done that. And I could have done it better. Like, you want that work. So make sure that they know that you do this for when those things come up. And just because you know somebody in real life does not mean that you shouldn't be professional with them. Professionalism matters. A lot of this marketing stuff can feel very casual, like you're posting on Facebook, you're chatting at an event, maybe you're DMing, it feels casual. But when it comes time to do business, when the rubber meets the road, be professional. Again, even if it's somebody that you know. So what I mean by that is be on time, set your expectations, tell them when you're going to follow up, let them know what your process is, confirm your setup time, your tear down time, confirm it a couple of days prior again, give them options, colors, packages, like whatever you do, whatever you have a payment schedule, send them an invoice. Like, professionalism is going to build trust. And I know that it feels kind of weird in the beginning because you're just kind of like, oh, I'm just little old me. I'm just a mom. I'm doing this out of my basement. It's just a hobby. Like, who am I to talk to somebody about like retainers and due dates? But think about it. If you booked a professional service and the person texting you was like, all right, sounds good, see you Tuesday, you'd be like, but like, what else? Like, is that it? Like you'd be like feeling a little less trust in them, because professionalism matters. It makes people feel comfortable putting their name when they in front of you or behind you when they recommend you to your friends. To their friends. And yes, you can do an invoice. You can do an invoice on Excel. You can build all of these things yourself. But I also just want to tell you that I also made a balloon business starter pack for this. It has scripts and invoices and all of these things for this, like the level up this side of your business. But whether you use that or not, use professionalism. It matters, even if you're working out of your basement. And if you want to check that stuff out, it's in my profile. Okay, lastly, get comfortable with your numbers, because getting comfortable with your numbers leads to confidence, and confidence is a sales tool. I want to talk about this because I think it is a lot bigger than people give it credit for. You need to have financial clarity, not just for your clients, but for yourself. Be clear with yourself about your prices and what you're doing. Track your numbers, know what things cost and what you're spending and what you're charging, and understand why you're charging what you're charging. Because what this does is build your internal confidence in the entire process. And the more confident that you are in your business, your pricing, and your process, that's going to come across in ways that you're not even aware of. It's going to affect how you talk to your clients, how you quote your jobs, whether you're going to stop second guessing yourself. You're going to start showing up differently. And clients feel confidence when you speak to them. And that makes a difference, not just in that individual job with that specific client, but then when that job goes well, it's going to build your confidence. And then the next one goes well, and that builds your confidence even more, and it snowballs and it's exponential when you start getting clear on these things. Kind of like you get clear on this, you get the confidence, and it kind of skyrockets you into the next level. And that is exactly why I have this channel and I talk about pricing and clarity and business systems so much, because it doesn't just change what you do on one job. It affects your business long term. So that is some real life stuff. Honestly, I think maybe all of the real life stuff that has worked and still continues to work for me. Show up where your clients already are, both in real life and online. Don't rely on people to remember you or prioritize your business. Make it easy for them to find you, share you, book you, and remember you. Be professional and get confident in your numbers, because confidence sells. If this helped, I would love for you to comment and tell me what part you're going to try first, like what is your literal next move. And also, if you've been doing this for a little while and you have some other tips, please share them in the comments. I am not like the balloon queen by any means. I do not have every single answer to every single strategy out there. Like, we all have our own experiences and our own tips and things that worked for us, and also things that didn't, which are probably just as valuable or maybe even more so. And the more that we share these with each other, the more that we are all going to be successful. Because in my opinion, the way that this business and this industry works is when one of us does this well, we all do well. And when one of us does this poorly, it negatively affects all of us. So share what works for you so that we can all do this well, so that your success can be my success and my success can be your success. And if you are still struggling with pricing, or you're feeling weird or uncomfortable or just not sure like of something, you still get those butterflies in your stomach when somebody asks you how much or what's your price, go watch some of my other pricing videos on this channel. Let me know what you need help with, because that is the part that honestly changes everything and gives you the momentum to make it to the next level and the next and the next. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy ballooning.